Well, hello everybody, and welcome to today's Play and Chat. Today we have Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett and John playing some Mario Kart.
Oh,
okay. And my leg. You can kind of see my leg.
You can see John's leg in the background. Okay, so you're the blue box.
All right, guys. So,
but I'm not.
You guys collect your.
There we go.
Figure out your characters here and figure out your map, and let's run to our.
Oh, Rob's controller isn't working.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Let me see it, Rob. Bring it over to me, or I'll get it. I'll get it from you. You sit. Your mic.
Wait a second. What? No. This is.
Get my controller.
Okay, I gotta get it. Wait. No, we've already messed up this whole thing.
His is here, so let's just go to controllers real quick. I just want to confirm. Oh, yeah,
okay, that's yours. Where's mine?
Let's go back.
Mine was working.
Hit the home button.
Home button.
So that's a me.
John wants control.
That's a me.
John should have control.
Oh, there I am.
Now you're
okay.
Okay. So now I'm gonna hit close.
Yay.
And then we'll get back here.
We really should have done this before we started streaming.
It's true, but now people can see it.
Oh, you know what? Well, hang on. There we go.
Okay, yeah.
Now we got control.
Mine's moving. Okay.
Okay, now you're blue and I'm yellow.
So,
yes, now I'm blue and you're yellow. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And pick your link.
Oh, okay. But now am I going to be on the opposite side of the screen?
It doesn't matter.
I guess not.
Okay, so I'm Mario. Rob is Link.
Yes.
And we are here to answer your questions. I proposed to Rob that we should do a game where if you lose on a track...
So now I'm pulling the game.
Okay, go to the first track just so you can get used to the tracks. That if you lose a track, you have to take a shot, and we'll see how we're doing after we get 20 races in. Right. But I thought maybe since we both got to drive home, that's probably not a good idea.
I will suggest we won't know till the game starts, but if you guys are on opposite sides of the screens, just switch controllers, because you'll want to have the screen closest to you. Otherwise, you're.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. So I am on the I'm on the right. Rob's on the left.
All right.
All right, let's get going.
All right, so the first question we've got here is from Jonathan Schultz. He writes, I'm really happy we get some context as to how Kang ended up in the quantum realm. How long has he been there, and where he was before Ant-Man 3? Now, I'm not sure if that's a statement, so let's see.
So you're happy they give us context? I don't think the trailer did give us any context about how he ended up there.
No, he didn't. Yeah, or how long he's been there.
Did you notice them saying anything about
that? Apparently he's been there. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer knows that, that she was there or whatever.
Like, was he imprisoned there, or is that just his natural realm?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know that was given away anything. But listen, whether or not it was in the trailer or not, which I don't think it was, I'm sure they will give that context in the movie. Like whether he's just been there since the beginning of time or whether at some point, one of his, what do they call it, variants, whether one of his variants trapped in there or whatever, I'm sure we'll find that out.
I am playing like a grandfather today, just so you know. Somebody called that, so I play like a grandfather. Oh, come on.
Today?
Come on.
All right, what's next?
All right, so we've got Miguel Zayen, who writes, based on this trailer, I feel like the themes of Ant-Man 3 and the first story that Coogler wrote before Chadwick's passing will have similarities. Dealing with lost time, with loved ones, their kids, do y'all think this will continue?
Somebody wrote that in on the John Campea Show earlier today, that there was some noticeable similarities between the original Wakanda Forever script, which is, of course, written before Chadwick Boseman died, and this one. I mean, I get it, but I think the similarities are loose at best. I don't think they're too apparent. I mean, lost time, yes. I mean, but you're both dealing with people. First of all, you had T'Challa, who was gone as a result of the snap, versus Scott, who was just in the quantum realm while the snap was going on. So it'll be different things. But yeah, maybe the issue's a lost time. But how similar they would have been, we'll never know because we'll never see that script, unfortunately. All right, what's next?
Chuckle76 gives some support.
Thank you, Chuckles.
No, I'm sorry. He subscribed to our channel, so thank you so much.
Oh, he became a member?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man.
So next up would be Raymond Verada. Yeah, I know. I just told this to Rob. Blackpink in your area, Rob. Coachella in April.
Here comes the blue shell.
But I already won. I have a problem with Blackpink headlining Coachella. Come on.
I have
not?
a problem with it too. I went to Coachella from 2002 to 2015, and let's just say this is not my Coachella, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
By the way, I think there's a setting here.
Uh-huh.
Go up to filter.
Uh-huh. Oh, and yeah,
and uncheck
yeah.
everything except
Yeah,
for
get rid of that.
Yeah, there we go.
This and that and this and there. Now just a moment, I gotta scroll down here so you guys play amongst yourselves.
Play amongst ourselves, yeah.
At least you didn't
But
say
yeah,
play
I
with
mean,
yourself.
that's like I said, that's 13 years straight of Coachella for me, and I don't really recognize it anymore.
No.
Hey, music's music.
Yeah, music's music, but this is mainstream. It used to be known as like being ahead of the curve and everything. This is kind of like mainstream now. But anyway, Randall Cartwright writes.
You know, I mean, I don't.
I
know
love
how
that
to-
phrase.
you know,
Stage bound.
Sort of stage bound.
All right, so next up we've got, let's see, we just did Randall Cartwright. We've got Miguel Zayan again. Also, regarding MODOK, I think we do see in the trailer Darren Cross's head in the armor. I don't mind it. John, was the picture you saw for this movie a situation, place, or...
Not, you're crazy if you think I'm going to say anything at this point. Okay, I will say this. I'll say this. It involved both an individual and a place. That's fair to say, right? It was both an individual and a place. So yeah, I will say that, and I will leave it at that.
Yes, an individual and place. That's a good way to say it.
All right, Raymond Verada writes, I thought I was the only one, but Mike Kalinowski tweeted he also hated the magical nanotech helmet thing used by MCU heroes. Everyone uses it now. If it were a real helmet, I'd be compelled to buy one.
Look, one of the frustrating things about the MCU right now, and I said this going all the way back to Spider-Man Homecoming, was the Iron Manification of everything in the MCU. Like, it started with Spider-Man, where Spider-Man apparently wasn't cool enough for Marvel, so they had to make him Iron Man Jr. and give him an Iron Man outfit. Obviously, we have that with War Machine as well. And that's kind of okay because, you know, War Machine, that's the way he is in everything else, so that's fine. So you had War Machine there too. And like even now it's stretched to the point where you get into like Wakanda Forever now, and the Dora Milaje are now all flying around in their own Iron Man outfits.
Yeah.
They have Iron Man outfits now. And then we have Ironheart in there. So they like everything is Iron Man outfit. Like that's the whole MCU now. And it's like, don't get me wrong, you can still do really, really good things with that, but it's getting kind of boring. I mean, so why doesn't everybody, like, why don't they give Clint an Iron Man outfit so he can be, you know, Iron Hawkeye? Or why didn't they give, you know, Black Widow an Iron Man? Just eventually everybody's just going to have Iron Man outfits and la-di-da.
All right, so next up we've got Josh Becker, who writes, why wasn't Beau is Afraid trailer a main topic today on the show? Could have replaced the Leo story with it. Or it could have been off the top.
I don't think it was nearly as interesting as a trailer for a movie that isn't going to be seen by a whole ton of people is not a more interesting story than that Leonardo DiCaprio story. It's just not. And there no way, shape, or form is that more interesting. Also, we don't cover every trailer that comes out. That's just the reality. We generally cover the trailers for stuff that's going to have more interest from people, like more interest from general people, than we do, because there's a lot of trailers come out that we don't cover because we're not a trailer channel per se. And I already had the off the tops. The show was, but by the time that trailer came out, the show had been set, and it wasn't. While we certainly can replace topics if they're big enough, I didn't think the trailer for that, which again is not going to be a hit movie by any stretch of the imagination, justified changing the show notes at that point. However, it did, like I said, it did just come out this morning. There's a very good chance we may cover it tomorrow. So yeah, but Rob, like you came in this morning and you were talking about, you really liked this trailer.
I did. I mean, I liked it, but you know, it wasn't. It again. They always draw from a small portion of the film, and you don't get a real sense of. I mean, I wish I got more of a sense of what we were seeing. Oh man, but it's fine because you don't want to know everything. You still want it to be a surprise when you watch it.
So the other thing too is there also just the analytics of it too. Like I guarantee you, like I'll have to wait till tomorrow to see what the total view numbers on, like, say you used for an example the Leonardo DiCaprio and Glenn Powell story. But whatever the view numbers of those are, I guarantee you the view numbers will be triple whatever the view numbers would have been for us talking about that particular trailer, even though it's Joaquin Phoenix. But again, I'm not saying we won't talk about it. Maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. And if it had come out before I had done the show notes.
I mean, you know, supposedly, by the way, that movie was originally like 4 hours long.
That's not terribly unusual, though, is it? That like.
But I mean, he wanted to release it that way.
Oh, he wanted to release it that way. Oh, that's unlikely. It's gonna green light that.
Smoked at the end here. God damn it.
All right. What's next?
All right, well, what's next is Cinema Reviews, who writes, over under 25% Ralph Fiennes gets a Best Actor nomination for his performance in The Menu. Personally, I think it's my favorite performance I've seen of his.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite performance of his. I mean, I think he had a couple, like the Gardner. What's the
the Constant Gardener?
The Constant Gardener, or Schindler's List. Or, I mean, he's had a couple of performances I think were better. And by the way, it's pronounced, I learned this, even though it is definitely spelled Ralph Fiennes, it is pronounced Rafe.
Yeah.
As in R-A-F-E. But I would go over, what did he set the over number at 25?
25.
I'll go over. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you, take it to the bank, he's going to get nominated for Best Actor. He's definitely not going to win. But I would go over 25% that he gets a nomination. I think a lot of people really loved his performance. Again, I'm not going to say over 50% necessarily, but I will take the over 25% because I think he was that good, and I think he's being recognized as being that good in it.
All right, so next up we've got CDS Swift. Are these Mario Kart sessions going to culminate in a vlog-type video where the whole staff goes to go-kart track for real? I doubt it.
Well, I mean, Ann and I just got our passes for Super Mario World at Universal.
Really? When does that open?
It opens regularly, I think at the end of February, beginning of March. But if you're an annual pass holder, you could register for an early preview night. And we are going to one of the early previews. There's more than just one, but if they do indeed have the go-karts, well, you know, we'll be doing that.
You know, and I think is it Japan, like Tokyo? I think you can. They actually have like tour like runs where everyone gets in like really nice go-karts and they do it on the streets.
Well, Ann and Ray's cousin, Lucky, we just had dinner with him and his wife. They had just gotten back from Japan. They went there and went to the Super Nintendo World at the one out there. They said it was awesome.
Well,
so
yes, but
excited.
I'm talking about it's actually on the street.
Oh, yes, I've seen that.
Yeah. All right, so next up we got Jonathan Schultz. Just rewatched Children of Men. Oh, man. So freaking good.
Great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bleak and dire, but that action sequence near the end, that's all one continuous take.
It's amazing.
And it's a little bit of an ambiguous ending in a way, but that movie had to end on a bit of a hopeful note, or else it just would have been depressing. But yeah, the movie ends on a really nice little bit of a hopeful note, while still, not great for our lead character. But yeah, that movie is amazing. Who directed that? I forget.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Yeah, it was a Cuarón film. Okay, I knew it was one of the Three Amigos.
All right. I'm not sure if this is a two-parter. I only see because it just kind of ends. But hi, crew. Hello, Marie Seifring, who also super chats $20. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Marie.
Avatar 1 came out in 2009. Avatar 2 came out 13 years later in 2022 and is a success. Yep. Hustler out in 1961. Color of Money 25 years later in 86 was a success. Top Gun 1 came, and then Top Gun 1 came one of two. Oh, it is one of two. Okay. Let me just see if I can find right. Okay, let's see. So yeah, she's saying Top Gun, the first one came out, right? And then obviously later on, Top Gun 2 came out. And boy, I'm not seeing Marie come through yet. So,
Let's just come across if we get to it. Yeah, I mean, that automatic look. There's no formula there. I mean, obviously there have been remakes too, where like Starsky and Hutch, they did a movie version of that 20, 30 years later, and
The Hustler and Color of Money.
That didn't make that so good. Hustler and the Color of Money, which is one she mentioned.
80s.
Color of Money is really good.
Really good. So is The Hustler.
But yeah, look, at the end of the day, look, we always say it, right? Winning cures everything. And if you make a great movie, then that will pretty much trump everything. So look, all other things being equal, you don't want to wait 10, 15, 20 years to try to, get your thing on the screen. But if you market it great and you make a truly worthy movie and all that kind of stuff, you can win. Where are you going?
Can we go to new?
Well, I think.
I thought you want. I would thought you would want to do one so you can get used to the tracks. Yeah, we can go to new ones.
Yeah, where it's things that are these new tracks?
Yeah, those are all new. That top row right there.
Great.
Those
Hey,
6.
do they have any of the classic tracks like from the N64 or anything
Well,
like that?
all of these are based off of that, but yes.
Yeah, they're remastering them with.
Yeah, one of those new ones there has the N64 Rainbow Road. You guys played it.
Because
I think,
remember
last time.
the one track on N64 where it's like you're out in the West.
Yeah,
and you
they
have to
it,
beat the
and there's a
train.
train.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's in here.
Yeah.
It's one of
It
the
is in here?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I used to love that track.
I think it's a part of the new tracks.
But at any rate, I mean, if you make a great movie and market it well, and by marketing well, I mean, figure out a way to hit those nostalgia notes with the audience and all that kind of stuff, then absolutely, like, you are never disqualified from having a successful film just because it's been a long time. Now, it doesn't help you that it's been that long, but again, if you make a great film like Color of Money or like Top Gun Maverick, yeah, you can still enjoy incredibly big success.
How do you get that boost when you jump and turn at the same time?
You just hit your jump button, the same button you use to drift when you go off a ramp.
No,
As
but
you're
I
about
mean
to
just
go off
turn-
a
but
ramp.
Just turning.
No.
Oh, like this?
You just hold down the drift button.
Yeah, hold down the right trigger button as you're turning and you drift, and then let go,
Yeah.
and then you get a boost.
The color.
And
behind
then
your
if you
wheels-
want to go off a ramp and do a flip or something, that gives you a boost too in speed. When you jump, hit that jump button. And
Oh,
use
and
the
here
directional
comes the
pad.
blue shell.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Rob, just the color
The
behind
great
the wheels
fuck you.
when you're drifting is how powerful your boost will be.
What's that?
So the color that shows up behind your tires when you're drifting,
Right.
that'll show how powerful your boost
Oh,
will
I
be.
never knew that.
Kind of builds. All right, so anyway, Tim Platt writes, seems only appropriate that the Ant-Man trailer would drop yesterday, considering how King is going to do Scott with what Georgia did to TCU.
Ooh, I'll tell you that was embarrassing to watch. Like, I know we're not here talking about football, but I mean that was humiliating. I was telling Ann that, look, there's no shame in losing a football game in the national title. Like, there's no shame in that at all. And you're always glad to make it to the national title. But when you lose by 60, and I know it was 1 or 2 points short of 60. What was it? 65-7 was the final score. When you lose by that much, you've got to think it may have just been better if we had lost to Michigan and, lost by 1 or 2 points and have fought valiantly. That might have been better than coming to the national title game and getting absolutely embarrassed. Like, I don't really follow U.S. college football that much, but even I was like, it was very, very difficult to watch. I just felt bad for those kids.
Yeah. Well, they try hard. They get in the championship. And
That's what I mean.
You want the game to
Yeah,
be good.
there's going to be a loser, but you want them to be able to walk off and like feel good about the effort they put in and all that kind of stuff. I just felt bad for them. All right, what's next?
All right, so we're just going to go back on this because our internet had gone down temporarily a little bit ago, and I didn't realize it, so there was a blank spot. So Randall Cartwright didn't hear the question read or answered. I haven't had a chance to tune in as much, so sorry if you haven't already talked about this, but have either of you seen The Whale yet?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, yes, we've seen it. To summarize it, before the blue shell hit. Brendan Fraser's performance, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Everything, it lived up to the hype. The movie itself was good, but I don't think it lived up to the performance of Brendan Fraser. And I mean, that was the strongest part of the movie, for sure.
Yeah, and as I said, it was based on a play, and I called it stage bound. The performance is great, but it was a little play-like.
Yeah, I agree.
Play-like.
All right, so
we
just did Tim Platt, so now we're on to Jacob Hirsch, who writes.
I've never even played this.
No, I've never played this thing either. I already know I'm going to do very bad. Oh, what? Okay.
Anything snow in any game gives me anxiety.
I'm no good.
Because it's going to be slippery. All right, Jacob Hirsch writes, John, I found your channel through your Arrow after show during season 2.
Wow.
Sad is coming to an end, but happy Steven's returning full circle.
Yeah, we talked about this on the show the other day. Stephen Amell, for those of you that have not heard, who's of course the original Arrow on CW and got the whole CW Arrowverse going. He is coming back, even though he's died twice on the show, but that's okay. He is coming back to play Oliver Queen one more time in the final season of The Flash, which is completely appropriate because he's the one who brought The Flash into the CW. However, while a lot of people got very excited to hear this, it got to take with the asterisk that he is only coming back for one episode. So it's not like he's going to be a central part to the story of the final season, which honestly would have been better if they did. Because really, this isn't just the end of Flash. This is the end of the Arrowverse. And I think it would have been, maybe they couldn't have got him, whatever, and I understand this is Flash's show, but I almost feel like it would have been a really good opportunity for them to have made the final season, like had Oliver in 6 episodes, like have him be an important part of the story of whatever, this final chapter is going to be for not just Flash, but for the entire Arrowverse. Because, I mean, he is Arrow. But it's one episode, at least they're going to be giving him that.
I think it's cool. I mean, it brings the whole thing full circle.
Yeah.
I think you should just focus on Mockingbird. Is that her name? What's her name? The
Black Canary?
Black Canary. Yeah, let's just be all Black Canary centric.
And why not?
Captain Buckles?
Yeah. All right. Daniel Vasquez writes, I'm going to my first CinemaCon this year. Any tips or advice for a first timer?
Oh, you're going to CinemaCon?
Drink the whole time.
Make your schedule in advance.
Yeah, get your schedule well in advance. Book your hotel as quickly as you can. Staying at Caesar's Palace is very expensive. I was looking at them already. It was like $600 a night per room. Whereas there are other hotels very close. If you can get a hotel that's on the strip that's close to Caesar's Palace, you'll be within like a 10-minute walk of the place. But yeah, book your hotels as soon as you can and get your schedule figured out because it's a packed couple of days. So, but yeah, have a good time, man. Maybe we'll bump into you there.
All right, Amin writes, Golden Globes tonight. All right. I know we don't care about the actual awards. I know they aren't significant, but will you watch for the show or not?
No. By the way, who's hosting tonight? Who's hosting the Golden Globes?
I don't know. Whoever's going to talk in the mic. I'm not sure.
I totally just ruined my game. Just so you know.
I'll watch the highlights on YouTube or something.
I mean, like if Tina Fey and what's Parks and Rec?
Oh, Amy Poehler.
Yeah, if Amy Poehler and Tina Fey are hosting, yeah, I might watch it just for that, but I have no idea who's hosting.
So I looked it up. It's comedian Jared Carmichael.
I'll be honest with you, I have no idea who that is.
Me neither.
So no, the answer is no. I will not be watching the Golden Globes.
Oh, people are saying he's from SNL.
Oh, well, most SNL people are great. And you know what they should have done? They should have gotten Michael Che and who's the other Weekend Update co-host? Colin Jost.
Yeah.
Mr. Scarlett Johansson.
Right, Mr. Johansson.
I still can't believe that guy married Scarlett Johansson.
I think they just met on the set there.
By the way, Ann and I came across this video on SNL. It was a video on YouTube of a collection of where Michael Che and Colin Jost every once in a while do this thing where they write each other's jokes and they try to get each other canceled.
That was hysterical.
They try to get each other canceled. So they don't know what the jokes are, but they have to just blind read each other's jokes that they wrote for the other person.
Oh.
And it is one of the, there's the blue shell. It is one of
that was
the
promise for the red shell.
funniest videos I've seen on YouTube in a long time. It was amazing. The stuff Michael J. wrote for Colin Jost to read was some of the most amazing
it was so
stuff.
Good.
It included a bunch of black Superman jokes that he made Colin Jost read, and Ann and I were almost spitting up our drinks. It was so funny. But man, if they were hosting, I'd watch.
Next up, we've got Dildar. I don't know if this is true or not, but speaking of Dwayne McDuffie from yesterday, Keegan-Michael Key is Dwayne's brother, but since Key was adopted, he didn't know till after he died. So sad.
I'm sorry, who are we talking about?
Dwayne, I didn't know that.
Dwayne McDuffie.
I don't know who Dwayne McDuffie is.
He's a great comic artist, a comic writer, and the architect of many of DC's animated films.
Oh, I did not know. I did not, and this was like his real brother?
I didn't know that at all. Dwayne married a friend of mine who I went to USC with, Charlotte Ford.
I guess somehow they found out that Keegan-Michael Key and him were brothers.
That's kind of
That's
interesting.
crazy.
That's something you make a movie out of.
Yeah.
G Master writes, Robin John with the Denver Broncos head coaching job vacancy open now. Do you believe that Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh takes the job?
About that earlier.
We're talking about here. Look, if you can get Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh, that's great. But here's the reality: Sean Payton is going to be the most sought. If Sean Payton does decide to come back to coaching, he will be the most sought after coach on the. I came in second. He'll be the most sought after coach. Why? If you're Sean Payton, why would you go to the Denver Broncos? Number one, you're saddled with Russell Wilson, and you're going to be saddled with him for at least the next year, maybe two. Number two, you have no draft picks.
Right.
The Broncos mortgaged all their draft picks to get Russell Wilson, so you got no way of really building your future. So if I'm Sean Payton, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's not an attractive job for somebody, but if you're Sean Payton, why would you go there? Same thing with Harbaugh. Harbaugh coming out off of what he's done with Michigan, he's going to have his pick. There's going to be, he's not going to interview for jobs. Jobs are going to be interviewing him. And I blew that. So, yeah. So, I don't see either of them coaching the Denver Broncos.
All right. So, Taylor, who's next on your, like, if you go to the Super Chat screen, who's next after?
Yeah, so the last one that I had that matched on my screen was Jacob Hirsch talking about Green Arrow. And then I have Jonathan Schultz.
What is it? Did I read that one?
No, I didn't get that one.
The Children of Men one? That was the beginning.
Do you want to read it?
Which one was it about?
Jonathan Schultz says, personally, I hope they bring back the short-eared cowl for the DCU Batman. I love seeing that cowl on Affleck's Batman. Also, I want the whiteout eyes.
Oh, and then is Om Nom your cookies next?
Yes.
Okay, so it's fine. It's just going to go in reverse order a little bit.
Okay.
I see what it's doing because I see it on my screen too. But anyway, go ahead, guys. You can answer that.
Well, I mean, you know me. The costumes don't matter to me. The costumes. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are costumes I like and costumes I don't like. But I often bring up Black Lightning's costume in the Black Lightning show. I loved that show, even though the costume was the most hideous costume in any comic book movie or television show ever. I mean, it was awful, but it didn't matter. Like, it was a great show, and I enjoyed the show, and I enjoyed the character, and that's really all that mattered. So, I mean, long ears, short ears, doesn't matter to me. It's all good. What was the second part of that?
It was
The whiteout eyes.
Oh,
the whiteout
I like
eyes.
the whiteout eyes though. That I kind of dig. Like, if you can kind of Spider-Man that a little bit, sure, I'm all for that.
I mean, it conceals the face all the more.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so then Om Nom your cookies you got next on there?
Yes.
Okay, the D&D thing also involves that if you create something and make it successful, Critical Role, WOTC then owns your IP in perpetuity. Yeah, that was just okay. And
Yeah.
can potentially call you to cease your own creation.
Okay, no, but there's a difference between. See, I don't think that's accurate. There's a difference between, like, hey, we do a show where we play D&D. That's fine. Like, they have no Wizards of the Coast would have no claim on that. But if you write your own write your own supplemental rule book to D&D, or your own campaign that you then sell based on D&D and all that kind of stuff, that's the stuff, if I'm understanding it right, that the open game license stuff is targeting. It's not just stuff like, all Critical Role does is they play D&D, and Wizards of the Coast doesn't have anything on that, nor would the change to the open game license, in as much as I understand it, will have any effect on that. Woo!
That was bad.
11th.
I got killed being there.
All right, guys, and with that one down, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break and hear from a word from our sponsor, Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile! Guys, we want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can only be found at Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you get another 3 months for free. Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with eSIM, while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I've been using Mint Mobile long before this holiday deal, and I have to say it is the perfect time to switch. I have absolutely loved using Mint Mobile, and like I've told you guys many times, I am now spending less than 1/3 of what I used to spend under one of the other major mobile carriers. And now, with the whole buy 3 months, get 3 months free deal, it's even better. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM. Or if you need a new device, for a limited time, get 6 months of free service when you buy a select device and plan. So guys, for a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get 3 more months for free by going to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.
All right, and welcome back, everybody. Just for those of you just joining us.
Damn it!
John is playing as Mario, and Rob is playing as Link. Jonathan, what do we have up next?
All right, so we've got Noah Drayson who writes, did you guys see the trailer for Beau is Afraid? It's by Ari Aster, who did Hereditary, Midsummer.
That's what we were talking about.
One of my all-time favorites. What did you think?
I mean, I don't know what to think. It looks really interesting, you know?
You can see why Joaquin Phoenix would want to work with him, though.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I haven't watched the trailer yet. I need to watch it.
It's pretty crazy.
Because again, we already had the show done by the time I saw that the trailer popped up, so I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I mean, it's very interesting.
Yeah, you told me about it. You said you really liked it.
I don't know what it is.
Right.
You know? I don't know what it is. But it certainly looks interesting, whatever it is. But yeah.
All right. So, Raziel Prime writes, hi crew, Rob, those Wakanda and Talokan Steel books for the 4K physical release for Wakanda Forever were too tempting. Pre-ordered both.
Well, come on, why not? I did too. I went to Best Buy and pre-ordered mine. They look great. You know, I have all the MCU Steelbooks. And it's like, I don't know why, but I mean, you know, I guess I know why. Does it matter? It's like, I'll take it.
All right. Next up, we've got Chino. Thanos made the blip. I wonder what Kang will do.
Well, I mean, okay, the one thing I will say, though, is one of the things that I've always liked about the Ant-Man films was that they'd be a slight change of pace to the MCU, because you can't always have everything is about saving the universe, saving the universe, saving the universe. So you get the law of diminishing returns there. And one of the things that I've loved about the Ant-Man films was that the Ant-Man films changed it up. Like, it was, oh crap, I can't see. It was like, oh, now we're like saving the family or something like that, right? Or saving your daughter. Like, I really like that. This one, we're back to, oh crap, here's the blue shell. We are back once again to, like, Kang saying to Ant-Man, what do you say? Don't help me and everything you know as life will end. So, okay, once again, we got to save all of existence, got to save the universe again. And it would be nice to see them change it up. Like, even, like, Spider-Man Homecoming at the end of the day was about, oh, if we don't fix this thing, it's going to destroy all of our reality. And then Eternals, oh, if we don't stop this, the world's going to be destroyed. Like, everything is always, got to save the world, got to save the world, got to save the world. It'd be nice to see them change things up a little bit here and there like they used to. But again, that doesn't mean the movie's not going to be super awesome. Of course it is, but yeah, I'd like to see it change just a little bit.
All right, next up we've got Casey Mack here. A lot of people want... Casey, is this really Taylor?
No, it's
a lot of people want to see a Shrek 5 based on Puss in Boots 2.
A lot of people do want to see Shrek 5.
Based on how well Puss in Boots do... that's hard to say. Puss in Boots 2... Based on how... Yeah, Puss in Boots 2 did, but it wasn't Puss in Boots 2, right? That was the first one.
This is Puss in Boots
The Last
3
Wish.
or...
This is 2. The Last Wish.
Okay. There wasn't a second one?
Okay.
This is the second one.
Oh, I thought there was already a second one. I thought this was the third one. Okay.
I wish.
That's what was throwing me.
I-
All right.
I wish there was 10 of them.
But I wouldn't mind a spin-off movie. Would you watch a spin-off movies based on Death the Wolf?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, no. And by the way, Puss in Boots is the spin-off movie.
Did you hear that it crossed $200 million worldwide yesterday?
I didn't know it's only made that much. I would have thought it made more than that. I mean, it's really good. No, but I mean, it's really good. I'm surprised it hasn't done more. I was surprisingly thoroughly entertained by it. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, as far as spin-offs, again, Puss in Boots is the spin-off. But no, a spin-off about the wolf, nah. I mean, he's your antagonist of the film. He has a role to play in the film, but I would have no interest in his own standalone movie, to be honest. And by the way, sign me up as somebody who would really like to see a Shrek 5. It's time.
They've got to be making a Shrek 5 at some point.
Hopefully they already are.
Figure out what the big guys have been doing all this time. All right, next one here, John Redcorn. Remember when Tyrese was campaigning to be Jon Stewart, Green Lantern? Over under 9%, James Gunn gives him a call. LOL.
0. Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, that's not me talking smack on my good friend Tyrese. But no, I don't think he's the guy to play that role. I don't think James Gunn thinks he's the guy to play the role.
All right, well, I'm sorry, Tyrese.
You're a good friend.
Uncle Drew is next. Next big video game IP you think a major streamer gets their hands on? I'd love to see Taylor Sheridan get his hands on Red Dead series or HBO, or maybe they mean for HBO. Much more adaptable Rockstar game compared to GTA.
I don't see Taylor Sheridan doing somebody else's IP.
Yeah, why would he?
Yeah, he just completely makes his own stuff.
There's a bit of a zaniness even to Red Dead though when it comes to like Rockstar. You know, I mean, I don't feel like that's Taylor's niche. You know, there's
Western?
Is it? Well, yeah. It's not just that it's a Western. It's very like self-aware. There's a lot of irony in it. I mean, it's like a little weird kind of zaniness because it's Rockstar. You know, they push the limits there. They're kind of like.
But I'm sure he could write the script however he wanted.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He's going to write his own original IP and he's going to do stuff that he has total control over the IP because he's earned that spot. And so I don't see him doing something like that. By the way, am I just going the wrong way?
No, because if you did, I think there's like a guy with an arrow that says you're going the wrong way.
Okay.
All right, Big Mouth Stan writes, hopefully MODOK translates well on the screen. Well, so far to Rob, it doesn't seem to.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I don't know. I have to see it like how MODOK is portrayed, and if it really is Homeboy from Ant-Man 1, is that what it is? Is that the deal? I think.
Oh, that you think it's Yellow Jacket?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah. By the way, Corey, what's his name again? Corey Stahl.
Yeah, that's it.
He is a great actor.
He is a great actor.
He was the star of that not long-lived, that vampire show.
I was doing really well, and now I just ruined my game.
Were you?
Yes, I was. Damn it. You shut up. You shut your dirty mouth.
What was the name of that vampire show? The Strain. Corey was like the star of The Strain. That show, listen, it got kind of bad, but the first season or two was really, really good.
He played Hemingway in Woody Allen's movie Midnight in Paris, which I love. He was so great as Hemingway.
He's a terrific actor.
Oh, great. I was able to pull it up to 8. Great. Good for me. I do play like a grandpa. Our viewers are right.
All right.
All right, so Jonathan Schultz writes, the MCU will have nearly a year gap between films between the Marvels, which is July 28th, and Cap 4, which is May 3rd, 2024.
So I was right when I said Cap 4, but I didn't know.
start the game.
Oh, okay. How do you pause it?
Just hit the plus
You have to
button.
wait for the
Oh,
3,
yeah,
2,
yeah.
1, and then you can pause it.
Where's the plus button?
Oh gosh.
There you go.
I gotta refill my drink.
All right. So, but going back to Jonathan Schultz here. So there's going to be a year gap between the Marvels, which is July 28th, 23, Cap 4, which is May 3rd, 2024.
Wow.
Just about. I mean, obviously just under, but yeah. Not that it's significant, but any thoughts on why?
Well, I think they have a lot they have to do. I mean, these movies were all in production for a while, and they don't have anything in production right now. Marvel's is in post. Guardians is in post. We're getting Quantumania soon, and I think we've also got Secret Invasion coming out, and I think that this break is this is probably just a natural break in what they're doing, because they're going to go from Ant-Man. They go from Ant-Man to Guardians to Marvels to Captain America to Armor Wars. Is that next? And then they're leading up to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, which are going to be huge. So they probably just need time.
Yeah, put Rob's one.
And what
when he's holding court. There you go.
what TV shows other than what's after Secret Wars? So we'll have, I'm sure, a bunch of different shows that'll come into play after that.
That, by the way, seems like really bad planning. Like they've been on this pace where they're having like 3 movies a year, and then to go from like to have an almost a year-long gap. I mean, maybe that had something to do with the Blade bumbling and things like that.
Yes, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. All right, Big Mouth Stan is back.
Okay.
He writes, do you guys remember the movie Chronicle? Yep. A young Michael B. Jordan and Dane DeHaan were great in it. It's interesting sci-fi thriller.
It's a great movie.
I like Chronicle.
Like, Chronicle is fantastic. It's one that should have had a sequel. It was a terrific supervillain origin story kind of thing. And by the way, directed really well by Josh Trank.
Yep, really, really great.
Who did a terrific job on that film. It's funny because that movie came along when I was absolutely sick and tired of found footage movies. And I didn't even want to go see it, but I think, who was it, Paramount? Was that a Paramount film? I can't remember exactly.
Paramount or Fox?
It was one of the two. The studio invited me to go watch it, and I was like, okay, so I went to the studio to watch it, and I think I dragged Ray along with me to go see it, and so I'm like, come on, if I got to watch this, somebody's got to suffer through it with me. And again, I was completely over the found footage nonsense.
The whole thing wasn't found footage, though.
Yeah, it was. It's all camcorder, like security footage, the footage he recorded. I'm pretty sure the whole thing was that.
Yeah, I think it was too.
And it was fantastic. Like, really, really fantastic. I loved the movie. I really wish they had done another one. And it was written by, what's his name's son?
Max Landis.
Max Landis wrote it, that's right. And then there's some interesting stories about, am I going to get it again? Second time the same game. There's Max Landis tells some really interesting stories about, why the sequel didn't get made and everything. Studio wanted to do something really weird with it, but that's too bad because that movie was great.
All right, Dildo writes, Ant-Man looks amazing. Can't wait for the MCU has had a really high stakes film since No Way Home. Maybe Eternals, more stakes needed for this saga.
I don't know that I agree. I was just complaining about it. Every movie is, all of reality is at stake. The world is going to blow up. Save the galaxy. Like every single thing.
That was one of the refreshing things about the Ant-Man films. Is that there weren't galactic stakes or cosmic stakes. And I know that Peyton Reed wanted something that, he said he wanted an Avengers level.
Yeah, he didn't want to be the palate cleanser anymore.
Which I understand.
Yeah, I respect that. But, I don't think we can say that. When's the last MCU movie that the world wasn't at stake? I'm trying to think. Spider-Man No Way Home was. I guess Thor. Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't the world was at stake. It was
gods.
Yeah, he wanted to kill all the gods.
Yeah, obviously the Black Widow one. It wasn't. I don't think it was.
Well,
Finally,
but the
second
world,
place
the
finish.
world was at stake though, with what she was trying to
God
stop
damn.
the game.
That's true.
It's about time I got a second place finish.
I mean, even like Ms. Marvel, which started off as this wonderful, beautiful character story and all that kind of stuff. At one point, I can't remember which episode it was, but they had, these beings from the other dimension, they want their reality to overwrite our reality and kill us all. So it's okay. So even Ms. Marvel is about saving the world.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah. Oh, I'm terrible on these types of courses.
Well, I mean, there was that Doctor Strange one where they just couldn't get the order right at McDonald's.
Yeah, it's like the mystery of why the ice cream machine never works.
Yeah. All right, Motassim writes, I hope the new trailer didn't reveal the final fight between Scott and Kang. I think it did.
It feels like it did, but
There's no way.
that may have been from the first half of the movie.
We've only been given like 4 scenes in that trailer, all 3 of those trailers. They're the same scenes. We haven't even seen most of the movie. I mean, overall majority of that movie has not been covered.
Yeah, I hope so. Because if that is the final fight of the movie, we get in the theater, we find out that was the final fight of the movie, I'm going to be very disappointed.
I kind of wish in this last trailer they didn't show all those versions of Ant-Man. I think that would have just been a better reveal. Or whatever.
Is it much of a reveal, though?
Just a
See
fun
multiple
like
copies of
segment.
himself?
I didn't need to see that. All right. So anyway, moving on. Jonathan Schultz writes, "Do you think it's impossible for the MPAA rating standards to ever change due to how much our culture influences how we watch TV and movies?"
I think their standards are always being evaluated, and they have made changes, by the way.
Yeah.
So, look, ultimately, I don't care about the MPAA ratings. At the end of the day, all they are doing is making a recommendation about, boy, what happened here? Where am I now? Making a recommendation saying, hey, we don't feel that such and such content is appropriate for kids or whatever. It's really ultimately up to parents. Like in the United States, if a movie is rated R, kids can still go see it. It's just that, parents got to go with them. So, I mean, really, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter.
All right, so now that brings us to Mattaween, who writes, John, if Avatar 2 ticket sales after Jan 1st count for 2022, will Titanic ticket sales this year count for Paramount's 97 bottom line?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say. Yes. Listen, if you put the movie into theaters and people buy tickets to go see it in theaters, it counts towards its box office. Unless, I think there have been times when they count it as a separate thing when, like, say, it's been changed or altered. Like, I've noticed on Box Office Mojo, there have been a couple of movies that this certain version of the movie has this box office, whereas the main version. But in something like Titanic, where if it's just like, say, remastered or anything, it'll just all count towards the same movie.
So what do you think they like form like a separate, like a new corporation or something like that, as far as the tax structure goes for that then? If they've altered it and then re-released it?
I don't think so. I just think for just for the purposes of accounting.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got Uncle Drew. John, I agree with your doubts of a Young Avengers project, but the studio is clearly pushing younger sidekick-type characters. What do you think the end game for these characters are? I'm guessing he means just end game for the current characters? Or?
Why do they have to have an end game? I mean, I think like a lot of characters and side characters come along in movies and things like that, and there's not necessarily an end game for them. Look, they're clearly in a transitional period, right? Ever since Phase 4 started, we've been in a transitional period. And like in professional sports, when teams go through transitional periods and rebuilding periods, there's some bumps. And Phase 4 has had bumps. But part of that is about trying to segue out the stalwarts and bringing in new blood and new stuff. And I honestly think they've tried to go about it too quickly. Because you remember we were talking with Chris Carr? And it just feels like it's every second we took a breath, there were 5 new characters being introduced in the MCU.
Yeah.
And I just feel like they didn't pace it well. But, I mean, not tragically so. It's not like they ruined anything. But it does feel like maybe they didn't pace it right.
All right. Next, we've got Blake Feely. He writes, D&D is in hot water this week with fans since leaked documents show WOTC's intention to revoke the open gaming license. Given that, do you think this was a bad time to announce a D&D TV show?
They're not
no,
revoking, they're changing.
they're changing it, and 99% of people don't care. Like that's the reality of it. They can say, this, but okay, you can say that and everything, but the reality is most people don't care. And even with the new revisions, Wizards of the Coast is giving their participants far more creative freedom to do stuff than any other IP ever does. Again, we were talking about it on the show this morning. Do you think DC is ever going to let anybody, hey, you want to write your own Batman movie and sell it and make money off of it? Yeah, you go ahead, you go do that. Like, even with the new restrictions, Wizards of the Coast is far more open to that. And again, I don't give a shit about Wizards of the Coast or Hasbro. I mean, Anne used to work for them, yes, but they no longer contribute to any of my household income, so fuck them. But the reality is, they still do let people and participants play in their sandbox way more than any other IP does. So I honestly think the vast majority of the people will not care about this.
Plus, the
at all.
open gaming license is all about other people making money off the D&D IP. That's what they're mad about?
Yeah. You should let me make more money off of your
it's
thing.
such a weird, they're lucky that it's...
Damn it!
Well, I mean, also, if the studio is banking on just marketing to D&D fans for this movie's success, this thing's going to flop.
Oh yeah, it's going to completely flop if that was it.
They better hope they're marketing to a lot of people who don't even know what D&D is.
Listen,
because otherwise they're screwed.
They need 95% of the audience to be... You finished ahead of me.
I finished ahead of you for the first time today.
They need 95% of this audience to be people who've never played D&D before.
Or, honestly, to be like, this was based on a game.
Yeah.
Finally, I'm not like a grandpa.
I mean, everybody knows.
Uncle.
Everybody knows it was based on a game, but they needed to be people. Because if you were only getting people who play D&D out, this movie's going to make $100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and any of the rest of those people do not care about this drama at all.
All right, so Jacob Karika writes, I don't know why, but I think they're going to use the Sentry/Void as the Fantastic Four villain. Both out of the 60s with one group lost and one hero forgotten.
I mean,
well, we don't know that's the way they're going.
Yeah, we don't know that at all. I mean, people are speculating that. But listen, you want to make Ray Aura a very happy camper? you announce that, and Ray will be like over the moon.
That'd be an interesting,
damn it,
opponent for you don't think of the Sentry really for the Fantastic Four in terms of film. So,
well, Sentry really isn't a villain. I mean, Sentry's not a villain. I mean, the Void. I mean, he's constantly trying to keep the Void in check. But I mean, so it'll be interesting whether. Oh man, you know what? On a board like this, that Squid Ink is really a pain in the ass.
So now this track I think is actually from
one of the original
Super Nintendo, the 16-bit version.
I don't know if you guys know this, but at the beginning when it's showing like a preview of the course, it'll say the title of the course, and below it it'll say which console it originated.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
All right, so Jay Master writes, which NFL team desperate in need of a starting quarterback job will land Baker Mayfield after his incredible performance with the LA Rams?
Thanks a lot. Don't even laugh at that. Come on, man.
What are you talking about?
He just drove into the pipe.
Oh, I missed it. I thought we were looking at Baker Mayfield. I think Baker did very well with the Rams. I think he walked in there and literally on like 2 days' notice, quarterback for them and won a game. He won another game with them. He made them competitive. I think he did quite well. Will he be a starter in the league next year? I don't know. He's definitely going to have people that will want him. But whether there are going to be people who look at him as a really super reliable, now bankable backup quarterback, or whether there's going to be a team that's looking for him to be their starter. I mean, look, the Colts need a quarterback, man. The Colts need a quarterback. I think the Jets need a quarterback. Seattle, they ended up doing much better than they thought they would. Like at the beginning of the season, they probably thought they needed a quarterback, but they don't now. So Mayfield will end up somewhere. I just don't know if he's going to end up as a starter anywhere. Whew, just in time.
All right, we've got a two-parter here from Sam Fisher. One of two. One of my favorite Edelbritty friendships is David Tennant and Michael Sheen. Have you watched Staged? It's a show made during the pandemic with them, and part two, they're partners over Zoom rehearsing a play that they were about to start on the West End in London. It's hilarious. Edelbritty is celebrity. Oh, okay.
That's good.
I have never heard of it. What's it called again?
Staged.
Yeah, no, I've never heard of it. And where does it stream?
So they did it over Zoom, but it doesn't really mention where they streamed that.
This is the track I was talking about.
Yeah.
Wondering if they had updated this.
You
I
found
used
it.
to love this track.
Or has it found you? Okay, so that brings us to where we were. Taylor, what is the next name? Because I got to scroll up.
So after the two-parter from Sam Fisher, I have J Master with Rob and John. That's the first line. Do you want me to read that one?
So I've got...
I'll go ahead and read that one.
Yeah, because I don't see it.
Sure. So from J Master, he says Rob and John with the Denver Broncos.
Oh, we read
We
that.
just did that
Oh,
one. Yeah.
so then did you have Dildar next?
What does it say?
Speaking of Dwayne McDuffie, that one.
Yeah, we did that.
You know what? I think you got that one earlier.
So now we're down. So now I got to go back up to where I was. So that brings us to, I think, Jonathan Schultz. Personally, I hope they bring back. Oh no, the short ear cow, Mode Awesome. Okay, it starts with Mode Awesome here. You know what's funny? Thor started out as a serious franchise, then got comedic. Ant-Man started out comedic, and now it's serious more than ever.
What was the first franchise?
Thor. Like the first one was. I mean, there was definitely funny parts, but I know.
Yeah, it was. The first Thor was definitely part comedy. I mean, it was not a dead serious thing. Not with this drink, I like it. Another. Yeah.
Part two was more serious.
Part two got more serious. Then they found the perfect tone for Thor in Thor Ragnarok.
Ragnarok is still one of my favorite MCU films. Period.
Absolutely, it's fantastic. And then the problem is they're like, oh, hey, we went a little sillier, and it really worked. So let's make it even more silly, and that was their mistake.
Well, two mistakes. They didn't have enough gore, and then it was too silly.
Yeah, it needed more gore.
All right, so Sith Lord writes, my favorite post-apocalyptic project is the incredible true story by Logic. Really good album. He even got the voice actor from Cowboy Bebop. Rob, I think you would dig that album.
What's the album called?
The Incredible True Story. It's by Logic.
Oh, I'd listen to that.
Now that we've got JCSC. Recently watched Fantasia with a live orchestra playing. Wow, it was amazing.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
One downside, it might be a wait until I have a better big screen experience. It might be a wait until... better big screen experience,
because
right.
that would be amazing, because basically Fantasia is not dialogue-driven. Other than Mr. Stokowski.
Oh, he passed me at the very last second.
Yeah, anytime you can do that, like I did that with E.T. years ago, where it was like literally like timed with the film.
Well, we did it with Black Panther last year.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing.
Me
that
and
section,
Rob and Elizabeth went to go to that at the Hollywood Bowl.
It was amazing.
Which it's in it. First of all, if you ever get a chance to be in LA and go to a show at the Hollywood Bowl, it's a really great experience.
Everything there. I love going to the Hollywood Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if John Williams will ever play again.
They're doing the Batman with a live audience,
are
orchestra. Yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
Oh dear.
All right, so next up we've got Jonathan Schultz. Thoughts on Greg Kinnear? I think he's fantastic. Well, yeah.
Dude, Greg Kinnear is one. Now, he hasn't done anything of note for a long time, but everything. I mean, I first really took note of Greg Kinnear, obviously in Mystery Men, playing Captain Amazing. That dude will always be Captain Amazing to me. No matter, he could win Oscars in his career and it won't matter. He's still Captain Amazing. But I think the one that a lot of people realized how great he was in that Jack Nicholson film, As Good as It Gets.
Oh yeah.
He's wonderful. I think he plays the gay neighbor in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is wonderful in that. And then another film he did that I really loved was with Harrison Ford in the remake of
I know what you're gonna say. It's Sabrina.
Sabrina, yes, in the remake of Sabrina. Him and Harrison Ford as two brothers in that was great. I loved him in that. I mean, he's just fantastic. I love Greg Kinnear.
I would recommend, not a lot of people know this movie. It's called The Matador. It's with Greg Kinnear and Pierce Brosnan.
Yep.
Pierce Brosnan plays an assassin. As a matter of fact, the tagline is a salesman and a hitman walk into a bar. I highly recommend the movie The Matador. It's just a great film.
All right, what's next?
All right, so next we've got a Sith Lord. I know you guys don't really care about the Bad Batch, but I absolutely love it. The story can get a little slow at times, but overall, each clone really shines bright. I grew up watching Clone Wars, so I want more of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the wrong audience. It's funny because I hated Bad Batch in the final season of Clone Wars. I thought they were just awful. And so when the show started, when the Bad Batch show started, I was very pleasantly surprised by how much I actually kind of liked the first episode or two. And then after the first couple of episodes, yeah, I'm like, oh no, this is terrible again. So I kind of gave up on it. But I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. Like, it got a second season.
I heard it was really good, though, this season.
Well,
It's off to a strong start, I would
Is
say.
it?
But so was the first season, and look how that turned out. So I'm hoping that this one has improved.
He mentioned, the Clone Wars. Am I the only one that really liked the Samurai Jack Clone Wars?
I love that.
Oh, those are so
Those were like
good.
my favorites.
They were really good. I loved it. Well, they showed the power of the Jedi.
Yeah. All right, so next up we've got Eduardo Hernandez, who writes, "Hey John, rewatch WOW." I'm not sure what that is.
World of Warcraft?
Probably. Do you think Jake is still more human? Oh no.
Way of Water.
Way of Water.
Guys, please don't write in acronyms.
Do you think Jake is still more human than Navi because he called on Norm's tech rather than turned to Ronal to heal Kiri?
I think he's a dad. Oh dear.
Yeah, and
I think
I
he's
don't know.
a dad. I don't think he's. But yeah, I mean, look, he may be in the body of a Navi. He may live the life of Navi, but he's human, even though his physical body now. So that doesn't surprise me at all. And obviously, we're going to find out in the third film that the diagnosis they give that she's having, what did they say she was having, like brain mini seizures or
I mean, they're
epilepsy
wrong.
or whatever. Yeah,
They're
we're going to
definitely
find
wrong,
out that
but
they were
yeah.
wrong. But of course, they're trying to use science to deal
Yeah.
with a
She
more
doesn't see-
supernatural thing.
She doesn't see the planet. It's like, well, she does.
Well, she does.
And I also kind of like that just a kind of small detail that their children have 5 fingers and
Yeah, I mean,
pretty cool.
because their avatars are half human.
Right.
They're human Navi hybrids.
Right. Well, they don't have avatars. They really are that.
Well, are they?
Yeah.
I don't really think they're hybrids. I think the only physical difference is that.
Well, no, they said
The avatars-
in the first Avatar, they say that they're a combination of the DNA between humans and Navi.
Really? Because they look exactly like Navi.
Yeah.
Just the 5 fingers.
Just
look
with
different.
the 5 fingers, yeah.
Now, yeah. So that's interesting. All right. We've got Dumbledore next. Brought 130 WBD, 130 Warner Brother Discovery stocks at $8.98 each, closed to the 52-week low 2 weeks ago, and it's been rising 40% ever since. I should have invested more. Well, never make a regret on any kind
But
of
did I
profit
not
you
say?
made.
Remember, we did the show.
Yeah.
When they were talking about, I said, of course the stock's gone down.
Said
They're in a
it's
transitional
yeah.
period. I said it's going to continue to get down. But I'm telling you, remember, I said this on the show. I said, buy this stock because it is going to go up.
Yep.
Like you watch, it is going to go up. So good on you, man.
Yeah, I think right
Good on
now
you.
it's sitting around 11 something. You're also, it's actually 1256, which is great. Just keep an eye on that, man, because we just happen to be in what's called a bear rally, a bear market rally. So those they can take your money just as fast as they give it to you. All right, so Jordan McIntyre writes, who's more popular, Batman or Superman? Batman seems to reach more audiences and can be more cinema, as they say.
Oh, Batman is.
Yeah, I think Batman. And Batman's just cooler. People like Batman because Superman's great, but Superman's essentially a god. Batman's a dude. Batman's a rich, suave playboy. Who doesn't want to be him?
Always, how's the saying go? Always be yourself, unless you have the option to be Batman.
Yeah.
Then be Batman.
Yeah. I skipped the Sith Lord here, so I need more Marvel in my comic book collection. Do you guys have any run recommendations to collect? I have a ton of DC, but not a lot of Marvel.
Like a run? Well, who's your favorite character? You should collect who you love to read.
Yeah.
I mean, you know me, I've always said my favorite comic book story is X-Men Age of Apocalypse. That's like, I think that's my overall favorite comic book story ever. I mean, now it's a long, involved, cross-title story, one of those things that I know frustrates a lot of people, but
That's a great story.
Yeah, I love Age of Apocalypse, so I highly recommend that one.
Yeah, and I mean, you can even, like, if you're dead set on, like, storylines, I've done that myself. But also, if you just have, like, a certain artistic aesthetic or something, like, for instance, I love Spider-Man's black costume. So one of the things I did years ago was collect every comic that the black suit appears in, as far as, like, not like if he's in somebody else's comic, but, like, every Web of Spider-Man, every Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, every Amazing Spider-Man where he was in the black suit. I just collected those. So you could find little eclectic reasons to collect something, you know, whether it be a storyline, a look, or whatever.
By the way, I'm going to say something very unpopular, and I don't care. I really like the Clone Saga. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. I know everybody.
Rob's turning red.
I know everybody trashes on it. I know everybody hates it. I get it. I loved the Clone Saga. I thought it was really fun. But anyway, so there. I'll leave it at that.
All right, and I'm just going to check real quick to make sure I didn't skip anyone, but I don't think I did. We've got support here from Canon King, Fierce Isaac, and Remy Alestra, and I think that's it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us here as I get smacked with the blue shell again. Thank you very much for joining us here for this installment of Play and Chat. I'm gonna start playing. I think I'm gonna get on the PlayStation, try to find a game that we can play on the PlayStation. But anyway, thanks for joining us here today. This was a lot of fun. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in the super chats. First of all, because you gave us great fun things to talk about, but also you supported our channel while you did it, and all of us involved in the channel. Thank you so much for your support. So thank you, Taylor, for running the technical direction back there. Thank you to Jonathan Voico, of course. Rob, thank you. You're getting better and better at this game.
Better, I'm trying.
And look at you, you're in third place right now. To you guys, thanks for joining us. Make sure you come back and join us for the John Campea Show again tomorrow, where, of course, we're going to go in depth on the Golden Globe results. I don't know, maybe it'll be a slow news day. Anyway, thanks a lot for joining us, guys. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Oh,